Yes. Y'all supposed to be the most excited. Oh.
Yes, you were all expected to be the most energized gracious oak. I got to set aside some margin to address this here. We've quite recently heard about the standoff of the 100 years. And one vows to be the juiciest story of the year. Yes, we're discussing the unbelievable conflict between the notable feline Williams and the consistently charming Steve Harvey. Assuming that you thought these two stalwart comics have been at the center of attention, just for their humor, reconsider this. Here a little hamburger thing that everyone need to begin, 'cause you need to really establish yourself that is cool do you won't do it here, however. It's notable that Feline Williams isn't simply a titan of parody, yet a carefully prepared entertainer. With honors for sure, yet it appears to be he's taken his contention with Steve Harvey to a new and shameful level. Steve, known for his irresistible grin that has dissolved 1 million hearts, is presently at the focal point of the succulent EST tattle of the year that you get off stage. I really want you to comprehend that that is your last time, as the ruler of satire murmurs are currently stronger than at any other time, indicating the chance of Marjorie, Harvey, Steve's ravishing spouse, potentially deceiving their apparently fantasy sentiment, and the names connected to these unstable charges. In all honesty, the culinary specialist and the protector goodness yet stand by there's more. The protector, broadly alluded to as Large Blast, is said to have a dull history with stories of him being a manipulative previous pimp. Kill everyone in here about your bud, if it's not too much trouble. Comprehend that about the manner in which I love you, Marjorie Elaine, what catted Williams spill that sent shockwaves across the amusement world. Why are fans and pundits the same, panting in dismay for those responses? And more stunning disclosures about the Harvey Association. You'll need to remain stuck till the end, accept us. This is a story you won't have any desire to miss. Who is Marjorie teeting with purportedly the body monitor in the midst of a time of tattle and unwarranted stories? Steve Harvey's fantasy, with his captivating wife Marjorie, appears to have drawn in its own portion of shadowy mists. The murmurs reputed heartfelt traps Marjorie could have had with their own cook, and Steve's dependable guardian you'd believe were finished. Yet there's a fascinating turn. That guardian goes by the name William Huge Blast Freeman. That is a poisonous relationship. Yet there's a complicated past attached to enormous blast. It's a long way from unadulterated. The babble about these potential contacts turned out to be more extraordinary, particularly after certain clues on the site GA page. And surprisingly, an idea that perhaps Steve himself had wandered off in 2021. In addition, film arose showing Marjorie jesting about exchanging Steve for a pool guide during a family quarrel episode, a random remark. Yet in the realm of famous people, such jests just stoke the fire days. I'd exchange my person for a great pool kid, people, she commented. While Marjorie's alleged undertakings have been all the rage, Steve isn't immaculate. By debates, there's assertion that somebody from his virtual entertainment group may be work hunting soon. Why a new tweet from Steve Harry's True Record created a ruckus, yet the commitment was discussing. Name a jokester you believe is entertaining. How could I follow through with something like that don't have neither rhyme nor reason? My entire image is to this tweet, which got erased not long after, suggested of a provocative conversation starter to Steve's devotees, requesting that they name a comic they find totally pompous. Steve was quick to reduce most, if not all, connection with this slip-up, going on record to denounce the tweet's pessimism. Hoke, I got to get some margin to address this here. Someone works for me on my Twitter put a proclamation out that was thoroughly pessimistic. I got to get a sense of ownership with it, since they work for me. Yet in this disorder, new data surfaced that focuses an alternate light on these bits of gossip. Digging further, it's uncovered that the much-discussed guardian, William Enormous Blast Freeman, assumed a vital part for the couple back in 2005. He was the intermediary. His virtual entertainment persona further reveals insight into his philosophical thoughts on connections, insider facts, and agony per maybe reflecting upon the embarrassment, including Marjorie posts like I believe that sweethearts should acknowledge to watch out for the insider facts you tell the individual you love that can get you life in jail, make one marvel about the profundities of the securities. He imparts to the Harveys Steve Harvey's flow worth, stands at a great $400 billion slunky. Yet his process hasn't been smooth as life, had its portions of promising and less promising times from being a protection sales rep to enduring monetarily post a turbulent separation in, curiously, during one of his life's least stages. Marjorie, who he had dated momentarily in 1990, re-emerged his life. I met her 86-87. When the tune came out then, God Gave Her Back to Me in 2005. Given enormous blasts, well-established relationship with Steve, their fellowship goes past expert ties, it's nothing unexpected then. That when pernicious reports connecting Marjorie and Freeman arose in 2023, both Steve and Marjorie moved quickly to splash the fires, while Marjorie depended on sacred text to address the bits of gossip. Steve adopted an immediate strategy, guaranteeing fans during a talking occasion that all was well among him, and Marjorie Steve's devotion to keeping up with energy obvious in his resulting treatment of the disputable tweet stays a demonstration of his personality. I'm about inspiration. I couldn't ever have done in no way like that. He commented this hurricane of occasions may very well be a transient second, yet one thing is clear in the high-voltage universe of superstar news, the present titles are the upcoming failed-to-remember stories. Following our earlier, investigate the discussion amassing Steve Harvey, it appears Feline Williams couldn't avoid the appeal of adding his own sensational flair to the adventure. Comprehend the erosion among Steve and Feline traces all the way back to their initial days in the parody scene. Given the predominant disturbance around Harvey Williams, distinguished the powerful coincidence to reignite a competition that has been stewing for a long time. Cast your psyches back to 2008, when the comedic monsters conflicted in a display suggestive of a bombastic title session. The bold Feline Williams, generally one for showy behaviors, declared war testing. Harvey's worshipped Lord of Satire title, the crowd was greedy, definitely guessing what felt like a parody confrontation of the 10 years. The consistently smooth Steve Harvey, in his unique style, appeared to redirect Williams' incitements in any event. Examining the showdown happily with Jamie Foxx on his public broadcast. Yet as the much-anticipated night unfurled, Williams wasn't there for chuckles alone. He was there for comedic mastery, jabbed in a conspicuous biters. Robe Williams released a deluge of justs and punches training in on Harvey's comedic flair, his commended status, his fashion decisions, and, surprisingly, his notable hairdo. How about we hear it? For Steve Harvey Williams shouted, zooming into the core of their comedic struggle, he's unmatched in what he does, yet appears to be reluctant to adapt to the situation this evening anyway. This was only the initial demonstration in a night loaded up with jests and dramatization. Williams blamed Harvey for duplicating his closet and mirroring his unmistakable design sense, a deplorable offense in the satire domain. He saved no justice evaluating Harvey's comedic act and transparently marking himself the genuine titan of the night. Late improvements proposed this comedic competition between Feline Williams and Steve Harvey has ejected anew with the previous persistently. In citing the last option, this chat finished in a profoundly expected comedic duel set for New Year's Eve in Detroit. Assuming the part of the provocateur, Jamie Foxx added his own twist-sharing scraps on his SiriusXM Foxhole public broadcast. Fox played a venturesome clasp of Williams, provoking Harvey about their looming comedic standoff plan for the unavoidable. Williams stated, the second you make that big appearance, we'll check the finish of your reign. As in of parody, you would be wise to have a crew of journalists. You'll require them know who he was. The point at which I was on the radio and you realize he wasn't in no motion pictures or anything. And you realize the sibling was simply not that known. In an amazing turn, a puzzled Steve Harvey